are advocating to change our legal system and our regulatory environment to make it easier for us to be open about our care. Next slide. And here's some examples of things that we're working on, or our government is working on. Some people are advocating for disclosure laws. They're actually mandating that hospitals disclose their mistakes. I think that's fine, but if people don't want to disclose on their own, you're never going to get as good as disclosure as you should. Some states are passing whistleblower statutes. These are laws that protect people who report errors. Other states are passing what we call I'm sorry laws. They're meant to protect doctors from when they say I'm sorry, that statement can't be used against them in the court if the doctor gets sued. I think that's fine, but the truth is if you're going to be transparent, why do you need protection for what you say if you're going to be honest anyways? So I don't think it completely makes sense, but nevertheless, most of the states are doing this. Some people are creating what they call cooling off periods, meaning that if you want to sue a doctor, you have to give the doctor 6 months notice before you can sue him or her. The idea is that that gives the two parties, two sides, 6 months to resolve the issue so they don't have to waste their time going to court. And then some people, we have a data bank reporting. What happens is that in our country, if a doctor has a malpractice suit and it gets paid on behalf of the doctor, they get reported to the federal government, and the doctors hate that. So some people say that doesn't fit system level thinking, and we should take that reporting requirement away, so we're trying to fix it. Next slide. So that's the legal piece. Another way that people are moving towards transparency is patient-reported outcomes. So like this, we're talking about outcomes that patients care about. So here's a chart that shows what 5-year mortality looks like for prostate cancer, or prostate removal, prostatectomy as we call it. If you get data like this, does that help you pick where to go to? It really doesn't. Click the next one, and the next one. But if you saw incontinence and impotence outcomes, I promise you most guys, I know which hospital they would pick if they needed to have their prostate removed based on these outcomes. And the more we get transparent about these outcomes, the more you can imagine it's going to drive better outcomes, because people are going to want to go to the places where the outcomes that the patients care about are better. So you're seeing a big push for patient-reported outcomes in the U.S. Another thing, this to me is amazing, we don't do this in my hospital, and I'm hoping we can. The University of Utah does this. When you come to their clinics, their outpatient clinics, they send you an electronic survey. You fill out what you thought of your doctor. Okay? You put in comments and you give them star ratings. In most cases, within 48 hours of your filling out that form, your remarks go up on their webpage for everybody to read, as well as the star rating. I cannot believe that they've done this. It's phenomenal. And if you go to the next page, look what happened when they did it. Next slide. This is 1 out of their 2 physicians are now in the top 10% of patient experience, because they made their patient experience scores transparent. They put them up within 48 hours of the clinic visit. And when they first did this, the doctors complained. Some doctors said, you know, my patient called me mean. Turns out that doctor probably was a mean person. And we saw what happened. They got better at this over time. Because once everybody knows their behavior is going to be put out there, you can see how it brings better outcomes. We're trying to do this in my hospital. It's taking a while. We need to get our electronic surveys first done, but we're going to try to do this as well. At a hospital next door to us, Beth Israel Deaconess Hospital, they have something called open notes. Patients can log in and read their medical record. What their doctor said about them, what their doctors are thinking, and see everything. It worked so well for them that they're now going to make their psychiatric patient notes available to the psychiatric patients. And you can imagine the challenges associated with that if you have a borderline patient, or if you're going to say something the patient's not going to want to hear. Apparently, all these concerns they had before, even without the psychiatric patients, it went so well that they're confident they can make these notes open to their patients and it's going to go well. We're all waiting to see how this goes for them. But you can see that people are moving towards, let them see it. Let the patients see what we're thinking and what we're saying. It's just going to be better. Now, just a few practical points for all of you guys if you're involved with quality and safety. What can you do? You should be insisting on greater openness at all times as part of daily operations in everything that we do. We shouldn't be putting anything under the rug. Let people know. And especially when things go wrong, it's important that we all insist on letting everybody talk about it and doing the right thing. Guide the way. Show people. Lead by example. Show them how we're going to be more open. And of course, help foster a culture of safety, as I mentioned. And of course, last but not least, be persistent.